Animal Crossers, and welcome back to Lumi Island. We've made so many amazing areas on Lumi since we started this island design series, and now that we're here at episode 6, I think it's about time that we design an area for our 2 island shops, the Able Sisters and the Nook's Cranny. In the last episode, I built this large neighborhood with 5 villager homes, and even though the little house icons look really cute on my island's map, there was mostly no terraforming, so that area on my map also just looks really flat and kind of empty. I guess it makes sense being that my island is meadowcore themed and meadows are flat and vast open fields, but I still wanted to do the opposite today. My goal in this episode is to create a uniquely terraformed landscape for both shops on my island to really elevate my map and make it look more intricately designed. My idea for this is to build a sunken shops area attached to the secret beach at the back of my island. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. And if you've been enjoying this series so far, don't forget to like this video and share your ideas for my next island theme in the comments below. Okay, let's get started on designing these shops. So here's my map right now before we build a new layout for the shops. You can see that it's mostly the default island back here where I want to build. So to make room for everything, I needed to do a pretty big cleanup session and clear off everything from these cliffs. First, I needed to trim my river down, and then I had to clear out all the flowers that were on the cliffs and the cedar trees too. It took so long and I had to devour so many fruits to dig up all of these trees. I had this image in my head before going into this. I wanted the secret beach at the back of my island to open up into a sunken space where the shops would sit surrounded by cliffs full of waterfalls and flowers. So I got started on carving out the cliff back here near the secret beach. I just kept removing the cliff until I had this nicely sized carved out space that was centered with the secret beach in the back. I hope all of that makes sense. To connect this area back to the rest of my island and my river, I landscaped this waterfall and stream that flowed into another waterfall and down into the island's river. I also added a Zen bridge stretching over the water right here because I thought that it would make a nice viewing point later where you could walk across and look down at the sunken shopping district. I didn't want this waterfall to flow into nothing though, so I did terraform a small pool of water down here. Before I placed the actual shops here, I wanted to build some inclines. I already used 6 out of the 10 available inclines on my island near the entrance and the plaza. I wanted this area to be pretty grand though, with multiple staircases, so I decided to go ahead and use the rest of the 4 available inclines. Hopefully I won't need any more later. I started with putting one on this side of the waterfall, descending down into the shops area. I chose the natural ramp to use here since it's green and it looks natural. I knew the shops were gonna be very industrial and structured, so I wanted to add as much greenery and nature as possible to keep this area on theme with my meadowcore island aesthetic. I time traveled to get the incline constructed and also placed the second incline over here on this side of the cliffs so that I could just easily run up and down when placing the rest of the inclines. For this staircase, I went with the white plank ramp just to add something different, and I think it looks cute. After I time traveled again, I was able to place another natural ramp parallel with the first one going down into the shops area. That way it could be satisfyingly symmetrical with each ramp aligned with one of the shops. Speaking of the shops, I needed to map out where the actual buildings were going to go. Like I mentioned, I wanted them to be aligned with these natural ramps so that you could run down them pretty easily and it would just be a satisfying layout and it would look cool on my map. So I used some of the in-game dirt path to mark out where the shops would go. For the Ables, I marked out a 5x3 rectangle, and for the Nook's Cranny, I marked a 7x4 rectangle. The Nook's storefront is larger, so to make it centered with the secret beach and everything else, I had had to adjust some of this cliff right here to make it fit. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this general layout. I feel like it's a little bit smaller than I hoped, but I think that that will also make it feel more cozy in the end. I tested out some of the brick pathway that I knew I wanted to use in between where the shops will go to make sure that everything will fit, and I definitely think we'll be able to make this work. Now that we had the basic outline and layout of the shopping center, I wanted to go back with my terraforming tools and add some more intricate designs and details around the area. I started by adding some smaller cliffs on either side of the secret beach to frame the space and give the area more of a sunken feel. I thought it would be cool if there were tiered waterfalls coming down from those cliffs and into a small river that you had to cross over to reach the secret beach, so I started working on designing that. At first I wanted to place a bridge here, but I couldn't get it to work, so I decided to just leave a square of land in the middle of the water that could be used as a stepping stone to get across. Once I finalized the water feature's shape, I went back on the cliffs and started to carve out the cascading waterfalls. I realized that I wanted to make this cliff here a little bit bigger and connect it to a larger pond, so I did terraform a stream coming from the first water feature that we made over here with the bridge. I took the water all the way over here and I placed a bridge going across this river too, so that you could have a place to cross all of the water. I ended up removing this later though. I finished up this cliff and I expanded it to connect with the river here, and then I made a waterfall and stream to connect it with the other waterfall over here and bring everything together with the secret beach water feature. I know that that was like so much waterscaping, but basically I just wanted to connect all of the different water features so that all of the water could flow back into my river eventually, because I don't know, I just thought that that like environmentally made more sense. Once all of that was done, I went ahead and grabbed the Nooks Cranny moving kit from the plaza and I placed the store into its marked plot. I time traveled to speed up the construction on that and the new bridge, and when I got back the next day, I placed the Able sisters into its designated plot as well. You might notice that I ended up placing the stores one block forward than I initially planned, so I had to go behind the shops afterwards and clean up the leftover dirt pathway. This is also when I decided to demolish that new bridge that I just built, so I went ahead and talked to Tom Nook to do that before time traveling again. The area was really shaping up at this point, but there was still some more terraforming that I wanted to do. Bear with me, y'all. I know that there's so much terraforming for this build. I just really want my map to look cool, okay? It's gonna be worth it. I went down to this spot over by my island's river and across from the plaza. I wanted to expand our cliff to cover this whole space so that the cliffs would be like up against the river. Once I did that, I took my waterscaping tool and made some waterfalls and connected them with a bunch of different streams, and I decided to terraform another small cliff on top of this one too, so that there would be a natural viewing point of the entire area from up here. Once I decided on a final shape for the cliff, I created more cascading waterfalls flowing down into the river below. Back over here where I demolished that bridge, I decided to make another stepping stone crossing point instead. Then I went back over to where we were just working behind the plaza to place a bridge here instead. I thought that we could have a diagonal bridge going over my river into this area. The waterfalls and terraforming is just so cool around this spot, and I thought that a nice bridge would encourage visitors to walk this way and see all of the views. I decided to go with the flat wooden bridge this time since I thought that it matched the space best. Once I figured out the bridge placement, I paid off the owed amount and time traveled to speed up the construction. And when I got back to my island the next day, I actually demolished this white plank ramp that we placed over at the shops area before. I quickly time traveled again to speed that up, and then I replaced it with another white plank ramp immediately. I just put it on this side instead. I thought it looked better this way since it was centered with this bridge. And yes, you guys, this ended up being like a 1 million bell project. Like, it cost so much to keep building and demolishing these things, but it was totally worth it in the end. Once I time traveled again to get this new incline in place, I got out my waterscaping tools to fix this stream up here. Since I had demolished that bridge going across the water before, and the only way to cross this stream now was to go all the way up here and go to the stepping stone near the cliffs, or just by jumping over the stream, which can kind of be slow or sometimes annoying, I wanted to remove some of this stream and open up a walkway. There's already so much waterscaping in this area, so I don't think it'll hurt to remove a little piece of that to make the area flow a little bit better and make it more accessible. Once that was done, I had one more incline to place in this area, so I talked to Tom Nook and got another white plank ramp, and this time I'm gonna place it against this cliff over here near the diagonal wooden bridge that we placed, and having the incline here just makes like a nice loop so you can easily get in and out of the shops. I thought that that was important since the shops are somewhere that you visit frequently in Animal Crossing. Everything was looking really good, and I promise that we're almost done with the landscaping and terraforming portion of this video. After that, we're gonna move on to decorating. The last thing I needed to do though is shave off a big portion of the left side cliffs over here. The cliff is just way too big, so I cut through where I wanted it to stop, and then I just started removing the rest. This took forever, but I'm so glad that I did this now instead of waiting until the next episode. Once I had the cliff cut down to size, I made some small tweaks to the remaining cliff. I carved out this little pond, and then I made some waterfalls flowing into it from the cliffs above, and to keep the same vibes as before, I connected the waterfalls to a stream that I took across this entire cliff over here to this side, where I made cascading waterfalls to go down into the secret beach water feature from earlier. So now all of the waterfalls here are symmetrical and everything is officially connected and tied together. Here is a side-by-side comparison of my island map before and after all of this terraforming. This build has completely transformed my map already, and I love how it looks less basic and way more intricate now. With all of the terraforming and infrastructure finished up, it was finally time to start decorating. Okay, I lied. It's actually not quite time for decorating. First, I have 2 short side quests to take care of, but I promise I'll be fast. Like I mentioned earlier, I terraformed this extra cliff right here so that it could be used as a viewing point for the entire shop's area. I wanted to make it easy to access and obvious that it's a viewing point by setting up a ladder kit right here. That way you can just climb up here at any time to take in all of the views. And while I was crafting the ladder kit, I went ahead and made a bunch of extras to place around the different areas of my island. I placed one over here so that you could access these cliffs too, and then I placed one on this cliff near the shrub fields on my island, and I placed another one right here leading up to this wheat field picnic at my entrance. And lastly, I added one more kind of hidden right here near my plaza so that you could climb up into this tiny area behind Julian's house. So now when I upload my island to the dream address and you come visit, you'll know where all of the secret ladders and viewing points are. Speaking of dream address visitors, I'm getting closer and closer to finishing Lumi Island, so the next thing I wanted to do really quick was get a head start on preparing for dream visitors. I always forget to leave out gifts for visitors, so I end up feeling so bad. So while it was on my mind, I picked out several of my favorite handheld items and the iconic glowing moss headband and leaf items that I wear, and I wrapped them up in this green wrapping paper and dropped the gifts all right here outside of the plaza. So when I upload my island to the dream suite and you visit through the dream address, you'll be able to pick these up and have some fun accessories for your visit. Everyone, say thank you to AfroPuffs45 for reminding me of the tree stunting trick. I always forget about this and they are so right. It adds so much variety and the little baby trees are so cute. So I did take the time to stunt the growth on some of the trees when I planted a few around the new shops area. And now that we've gotten all of the trees in place, before we plant our flowers and shrubs, I wanted to lay out the pathways for this build. I started with making some winding plank paths leading from each incline to this bridge up here. I kept them symmetrical, which I thought looked so satisfying, and then I started working on adding some patches of cobblestone and grass path over here, which is where I wanted the main entrance of the shops area to be. Once I finished that, I went down into the sunken shops area and I started placing this brick pathway all around the shops to make clear paths leading from the inclines to the storefronts and also to the secret beach back this way. By the way, I have a Pinterest board with every design code that I'm using on this island, and you can find the link in this video's description. The Able Sisters has this extra like row of land in front of it with like the porch on it, so to make it look a little bit less bare and grassy, I added this cute welcome rug that matched the building. This area down here was definitely smaller than I initially planned, but I'm so glad that the pathway ended up fitting nicely, and I'm excited to add some decorations to bring this space together. Up here, I did make two circular shaped grassy patches, and then I had this random idea pop into my head that like I needed to do instantly before I forgot. I wanted to customize one of these street lamp items with a cool design and use it somewhere at the shopping district as like a point of interest. I found this really cute bow design on Pinterest and downloaded it. I customized the street lamp with the design and it looked so freaking good. There was this square down here that I thought would be the perfect spot for a street lamp, so I placed this cute circular flower design and then I put the street lamp right on top. I was so happy that it actually fit in this little spot because I was worried that it wouldn't be able to, since I know the street lamp items in this game are like notorious for having weird sizes. I ran up here to see the street lamp from the bridge viewpoint and oh my gosh, it looks so pretty and I loved it so much. Before I got started in covering the shops with different furniture items and decor, I needed to populate the area with some flowers. Actually, not some flowers, I mean lots and lots of flowers. My island is meadowcore and I wanted to have some large fields of nothing but flowers to really lean into that meadowy feel. I thought that the cliffs around our shops would be perfect for this. I could just cover the large surfaces with flowers and it would look so pretty, and it would also be so easy. It's also perfect to prevent more lag on my island, especially since the giant neighborhood that I built in the last episode is kind of close by, and that area has so many items and it's already a little laggy over there. But hey, maybe my island won't be so laggy on the new Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know if you've seen the new trailer for the console. Spoiler alert if you want to look it up yourself, but I think it looks awesome and I'm so freaking excited for this new system, y'all. It just looks like such an upgrade. The only thing I'm hoping for, other than a new Animal Crossing main title of course, is some different colorways for the Switch 2, like maybe a white edition would be nice. I loved the color options that we got with the Nintendo Switch Lights. I'm just really excited because I know that a new Animal Crossing title is in our future, and I'm also manifesting another Animal Crossing special edition console, like an Animal Crossing Switch 2 with a new game. Nintendo, I am begging you. Anyways, I thought that avoiding more furniture items and more lag by covering these cliffs with nothing but flowers would be a great idea, so I decided to go for it. It was a really long process though, since I had to travel back and forth from my island to a treasure island to get all of the flowers and shrubs that I needed. And since we only have 40 inventory slots in this game, it took a while to get enough flowers and shrubs to cover all of this large space. But I did remember to record my island flyover one time when I was traveling back from the treasure island, so I wanted to show you what it looks like so far. I love this island so much, oh my gosh, I get so happy looking at it. Anyways, after a lot of time, the cliffs were officially covered in flowers and they looked so beautiful. Now we were finally prepped and primed and ready for some furniture and decor. Have you ever gone shopping while eating popcorn? Hear me out, it's actually a great experience. I used to get popcorn sometimes at Target when they had those self-serve popcorn machines. I don't think they have them out anymore, but trust me, it was so amazing. The only bad thing about it was like getting buttery fingers and then accidentally spreading popcorn butter all over Target. Honestly, that's probably why they got rid of it now that I think about it. When I saw this popcorn machine item in Animal Crossing, I knew that I had to make a cute little popcorn stand. The item comes in this green variation with cute little vintage stripes, which I thought matched my island's theme so nicely. So I paired the popcorn machine with this park clock item and also these stacked barrels. On top of the barrels, I placed this dessert carrier box. I know it doesn't seem like the best option for a popcorn bucket, but I love how it looked customized with this green pattern. It just matched everything so well and it looks so cute. And of course, whoever decides to sell the popcorn will need a spot to sit down, so I added a matching green piano bench here as well. And I added details around the space like more flowers, design codes, shrubs, wheat fields, and a green leaf pile. To frame the entryway into this space over here at the incline, I decided to place 2 Turkey Day garden stands on either side. On top of those, I put these green wheat field decorations that I thought went really nicely with everything else. Overall, I'm really happy with this little popcorn mini build here. I think it's really unique and adds a fun vibe to the area. Now let's make a frame for this bridge so that when visitors use it as a viewing point, they can take some really cute photos that look nice and aesthetic. I used the round topiaries and the bunny day topiaries to make a cute design, and I mirrored it so that it was symmetrical on both sides of the bridge. I also wanted to hide the base of the bunny day item a little bit, so I placed some wheat fields in front of those. There's also this small transitional space over here near the pond and this other incline that I needed to decorate. I used a garden wagon, a green leaf pile, and this planter to add some nice details. And for a more practical touch, I placed this yellow trash can on this cute little design code. I think it looks so good and it matched with the egg that the bunny was holding. I know that that's like really specific, but it was satisfying to my brain. To finish this area up, I planted a lot more flowers to fill the ground and make it feel more lush. Using this green plastic furniture, I also set up a seating spot near the pond. I placed a slice of apple tart on top of the table because it looks so yummy, and I also have a bakery on my island, so I thought it made sense. You probably know by now that Fauna, the cute deer villager, is my absolute favorite character in Animal Crossing. She's just so wholesome and kind, and she's followed me through multiple games and different stages of my life. She is just so special to me. I've always wanted to get an Animal Crossing tattoo, and finally I got a custom Fauna design done by tattoo artist Maybe Stevie over on Instagram. I'm so happy with how it looks. Oh, and I forgot to show you the Levi Ackerman tattoo that I got back in December too. I think I promised to show you back in like episode 1 of this series, but I completely forgot. I'm on a tattoo kick right now, and I'm hoping to get another one in February, so let me know if you want to see more updates like this. Anyways, let's get back into designing these shops. In this small space right here between the incline and this diagonal bridge behind my plaza, I wanted to set up a stall where someone could sell some handmade vases. So I laid down a bunch of different design codes on the ground to map out the space. I used the wooden deck design at the base of the stairs just because it's so cute, and I placed some cobblestone leading over to the bridge and some grass over here, and I also used this rug code on the ground for the actual stall to go on top of in this spot. On top of the stall, I placed a cash register and a shopping cart, and then I surrounded it with different vases that I thought matched well with my island's vibe. I think that this tiny build was perfect for this space, and it made the walkway here look so much more interesting and inviting. I also have a flower truck nearby over at my island's plaza, so I can just imagine visitors buying a vase from this stall for the flowers that they got from the truck, and I just think that's so cute. Oh, and I remembered to place a chair behind the stall too, so whoever was working here had a nice spot to sit down. Now it's time to get to work on decorating the actual sunken shop space. Like I said before, this area ended up being so much smaller than I originally planned for, and I wanted to prevent adding more lag to my island, so I wanted to keep the decor here pretty minimal. It works out anyways, since I think the shop should be one of the more functional spaces on the island, since we're always in and out of the nook's cranny. I placed 2 shopping carts on the pathway to make the space look more alive, and then I used this cool balloon cart thing over here in front of the Ables. I thought it looked so cool, and it adds to the vintage vibes that we got going on with the popcorn machine and stuff. I did have to move it temporarily though, because I remembered that you can actually place custom design clothing on your island, and I thought that it would be so adorable to feature some green dresses that really matched Lumi, including this dress that I'm always wearing. I'm so glad that I did that because it ended up looking so pretty, even if the display was slightly hidden behind the balloon cart when I placed it back. Back here behind the shops, I added some more practical items like this ABD machine and a stack of shopping carts, and with that I was done decorating the main shop space, and the only thing left was the secret beach. I wanted to keep Red Secret Beach pretty simple and on theme with the rest of my island. I thought about doing something more on theme with red, like a pirate themed beach or something like that, but I thought keeping it meadowy and pretty would look better. So first I used this party lights archway to frame the beach and make it extra cozy. Then I placed a few design codes on the sand, including this cute stack of letters and this nice brick. The designs just make the sand look so much more interesting and textured. And for items, I added these glass bottles and a bicycle, and that was that. Okay, Animal Crossers, we're done with the entire Sunken Shops build, and it's finally time to take a walk through and see how everything came together. Of course, we have our lovely popcorn stand where you can grab a snack before your shopping trip. This is definitely one of my favorite details in this build, and back behind here, this whole space is just covered in flowers, but I love how you can actually walk back here and get immersed in the meadows. It just feels really pretty and really, really meadowy, which is exactly what I'm going for. We can keep going this way and onto this bridge for the main viewing point of this build, where you can really take in the sunken shopping district below. Of course, we've got a nice seating area back this way and a cute little pond with some more natural elements. There's also a secondary viewing point up on this cliff, which you can access by climbing this ladder here. I love this spot, and I'm so glad that I made this viewpoint because now I can enjoy all of the waterfalls that I terraformed over here. It just looks so cool, and I'm really glad that there's at least one spot on Lumi where there's more like intricate and detailed terraforming. If we head back down here and down this incline, we can visit the vase vendor. I did change out some of the vases here, and I think it looks so much better now. I just love this build too, and I'm hoping to make a pottery studio somewhere on the island as well, so there's like a place where the vases are being made too. Now let's walk back up this way towards the shops and descend into the actual sunken shopping district. We've got the Able Sisters store right here tucked against this cliff. Again, I really love how this balloon cart looks here with the dresses behind it. This build is just so satisfying to me. I feel like every item really matches and everything ties together so nicely. It makes me so happy. I love the shopping carts too, and I even made sure to get the yellow and green variants to make sure that they matched with everything. The Nook's Cranny is right across here. Not much going on other than this pile of leaves and the shopping cart. I'm still very proud of the street lamp over here, and also, if you didn't notice, I made this tree stop growing right before it hit full size, so it's only slightly smaller, but it kind of makes a cool perspective illusion. Whenever you're back on the bridge looking over the area, the smaller tree makes it look like it's a regular tree, just like further away in the distance. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I thought that it helped make the area feel a little bit bigger. We can also hop across this tiny river right here and see Red Secret Beach and all of its cute decor. And that's everything that we designed today. I really hope that you enjoyed Lumi episode 6 and these sunken shops that we designed. I really feel like I accomplished my goal to make the island map look more intricately designed and cool. Again, here is the before and after of the map so you can really see all of the differences. Thank you so much to our channel members. I am forever grateful for all of your support, and if you are interested in becoming a member for some cute emotes and badges, click the join button below to learn more. And while you're here, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Okay, Animal Crossers, I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!